My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We are here to watch this match between Carlos Alcaraz and Alex de Minaur as a watch along. Who have we got in the live chat? Oh, spam. Yeah. Alcaraz was serving first and has held serve, so leads 1-0. We, of course, have a preview out for this particular encounter, so do keep an eye out for that. Boris Becker on comms. Love 15 are here on the de Minaur serve. Of course, the winner of this will be playing Alexander Zverev, because Zverev won in 4 sets today over Le Natien.
Das fängt richtig gut an. Dritte Linie. Das ist bei Carlos Alcaraz kein Glück. Der zielt da drauf.
By the way, love 15 becomes love 30.
He's almost just got to play every ball on its merits.
So it's a little scary already for de Minaur. $15.30. I think in France you can watch it on Eurosport.
Interesting to see how often he uses that particular serve. Yeah. Well, you've got a free point there, so you use it again, wouldn't you? Maybe not this one, but shortly.
Alcaraz went long on the return. Thirty all. de Minaur to serve. Out wide, but misses the first serve. Down the tee, backhand return. Forehand from de Minaur clips the net. Now it's a forehand for Alcaraz into the forehand of de Minaur. Good forehand there from Alcaraz, but lovely passing shot attempt at least from de Minaur. It should help him win the point. Alcaraz defends. Alcaraz defends. That is going to land in, which is wild. And we're almost back to neutral. Oh, but Alcaraz misses the forehand. 40-30.
In terms of the speed that he managed to generate there.
14.2 kilometer sprint. Don't think that's quite right, Mark. Good return there from Alcaraz. 5 winners already off the racket of Alcaraz, and we've not even completed 2 games.
Stands out more than anything else. He gets it from A to B through the course so fast. Racket head speed generates power.
Another decent return from Alcaraz. Comes into the net, does Carlos. Doesn't put the volley away, but gets great depth on it. Now he's got an overhead. De Minaur defends. De Minaur defends very well, but eventually Alcaraz puts the volley away.
This is intimidating even kind of this. Because, you know, we all play to a reasonable level. We didn't see anything like this. This is a new way of playing tennis.
Alcaraz is just off the charts. Must be quite intimidating for his opponents. Forehand de Minaur into the forehand of Alcaraz. Backhand cross court from Alcaraz. Alcaraz comes into the net. He's got to put that one away. Doesn't, but he's going to get a really easy one to put away this time. And he does. He's broken already. 2-love. He leads. de Minaur only broken 3 times in the tournament, and he's been broken already. Okay, so second serves there. A lot of second serves in that particular game. Let's have a quick look to see how many. Yeah, so we only got 2 of his 8 first serves in. But of course, it's just one game. But Alcaraz was able to punish. Alcaraz, by the way, has won 100% so far of his first serves. So far. Still early doors, of course. And that second serve had a bit of meat to it, and de Minaur was trying to be aggressive, but couldn't deal with that 185.
Eventually. He's come out unbelievably hot, hasn't he, Alcaraz? Making a real statement here.
Double fault, Carlos. He's obviously going pretty big on these second serves. Good serve out wide there, though. de Minaur can't deal with it. 40-15. Alcaraz holds.
I would say Iceland is a country that you can revisit because of the contrast between seasons. In summertime, you will have the 24-hour daylight.
Okay. 3-love. We've probably got the schedule for tomorrow, so let's have a quick look to see who is up first. Day 11. Rebecca Swiatek. Pegula Anisimova. Okay, so the women on in the day and the men at night. I just wonder if Yannick and Djokovic's powers within the halls of Tennis Australia has held sway there, as they both want later matches, let's say. Although Musetti shot Djokovic. It's sort of officially a day session, but I think, well, surprised they didn't put one men, one women's on in the night session like today. Oh well, it is what it is. So de Minaur serving here, 15 love, keen to get that first serve percentage up. Good second serve there from Alex, but we're into the rally right now. A slice from Carlos is not dealt with by de Minaur, 15 all. Is de Minaur a little flustered right now? I think so, but it's can be understandable. The turn goes into the net from Alcaraz, 30-15. Good serve down the tee, but Alcaraz deals with it so well. What a return. 30 all.
Speed and the power just comes from the timing and quickness of the racket.
30 all. Look at that picture of de Minaur, by the way. Look how young he is. Decent return as well from Alcaraz here. Now he's on the forehand. Backhand. Trying to go cross court, but actually went long. So it's 40-30. Backhand down the line to the forehand of de Minaur. Forehand cross court from both players right now. Alcaraz goes long. So de Minaur holds. De Minaur could reach a maiden semi-final from his 7th Grand Slam quarterfinal attempt. That would be the most. If he doesn't get it, I think it would be the most in the Open era. Rublev, though, must have quite a few now. Backhand goes long from Alcaraz, and it's love 15, and we get a come on from Alex de Minaur. First serve is into the net. Backhand return to the forehand of... Oh, that's a lovely forehand from de Minaur. Now they're both slicing it to varying degrees of effect. And Alcaraz nets on the backhand. And suddenly, the sensational tennis of the first 4 games, could all just be forgotten as de Minaur potentially breaks back. Love 30. Do hit that like button, by the way, and if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. First serve missed from Alcaraz. So a second serve here for de Minaur to look at. Decent return from de Minaur. Now Alcaraz thought about coming into the net there and didn't do it, and then goes long on the backhand. So it is love 40 now. Maybe Alcaraz should have come into the net. Okay, break points. First serve clips the net. So it's a second serve here. Where are you going to go with this serve, Carlos? Into the net. So a second serve now for de Minaur to look at. Backhand return. He's going to miss after a good body serve there from Carlos. 15-40. Okay. 15-40. Misses the first serve. Second serve here. Forehand returns into the net from de Minaur. That will be disappointing for the Australian. Two second serves here that de Minaur has not been able to take advantage of. $30-40. This time Carlos gets a first serve in. Good backhand cross court, but well defended by de Minaur. And Alcaraz nets on the backhand, almost unnerved by that defending. And we're back on serve. Well, who would have seen that coming? We will take a quick break as well.
Ready. Play.
And if you're wondering what this little thing is, well, let me tell you now, whether it be tea, coffee, or merely water, it tastes so much better from a talking tennis mug. And you know what? They can be yours if you wish to purchase one from our website. We've also got bags and stickers and hoodies and notebooks. Mira Andreeva. T-shirts as well, of course, coming in both black and white. And we've got a classic jumper for you as well, and many, many other things for you to purchase for excellent prices so you can look like some of the coolest people on the tour. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. Okay. We're back, people, with de Minaur serving, and we're back on serve as well. Return into the net from Alcaraz. 15-love, Alex de Minaur. Okay, we're into the rally here. Good defending there from Alcaraz, but now he's going for the lob. It's going to land in. de Minaur gets to it. This is a spectacular rally, but it goes out. 15 all. Forehand winner there from de Minaur. Okay. Backhand return from Alcaraz into the backhand of de Minaur. Forehand Alcaraz. Forehand both players. That's lovely play from Carlos, but well defended by de Minaur with excellent pace on some of these defensive shots. Alcaraz getting decent depth. de Minaur comes into the net. That's a good decision, but Alcaraz defends. Does he know it's going to go long? 40-15. Good decision there from de Minaur to come into the net, I think. Okay. Second serve. Backhand return from Carlos. He puts the forehand into the net and we're at 3 all. We will, of course, have a watch along tonight for Iga Swiatek against Elena Rybakina. That's the first semi-final. Good return there from de Minaur. de Minaur comes into the net. I think he's going to put this away. He's really applying the pressure right now to Carlos Alcaraz. Love 15. He's rushing Carlos. So 3 games in a row for each player, with Carlos racing into a 3-love lead with some sensational tennis. But de Minaur has fought back to 3 all. Okay, we're into the rally here. What is going on with Carlos Alcaraz right now? Into these longer rallies, and he's just crumbling at some point. Love 30. Ambush indeed. Carlos Alcaraz in Australia is an interesting conundrum. That return from de Minaur just missed. So it's 15:30. First serve clips the net and goes wide, so a second serve for Alex de Minaur to look at. Backhand return from de Minaur into the backhand of Carlos. Good depth there from de Minaur, but he's missed the forehand, 30 all. It was a chance to attack. Yep. Okay. 30 all. Carlos to serve. Down the tee, gets his first serve in. Goes from love 30 to 40-30, Carlos. And we get a come on from the Spaniard. Vamos. Which is a translation of kind of come on, let's go. Misses the first serve. Second serve here at 40-30 for Alex de Minaur to look at. Forehand de Minaur into the forehand of Alcaraz. Oh, Alex, I thought was going to come into the net, but didn't. But doesn't matter. He's got to juice. Just got an email. Boris Becker, Grand Slam champion, available for collaborations. We're pleased to share that Boris Becker, one of the world's most iconic figures in global sport, is now open to select projects and brand collaborations for 2026. Boris is available for... Alcaraz holds, by the way, finally, 4-3. Boris is available for brand partnerships and ambassador roles, campaign appearances, including digital, print, and broadcast, speaking engagements and leadership events, video games, voiceovers, or movies. I think you probably have to pay, though, for Mr. Becker's services there. New balls here for Alex de Minaur. But it is love 15. Love 30 after de Minaur nets. Okay, de Minaur goes long and it's love 40. Okay, love 40 here. 3 break points for Carlos Alcaraz to regain that break advantage and serve for the first set. Forehand from Alcaraz goes long, 15-40. First serve is into the net, so a second serve here for Carlos to look at. Backhand return. Forehand now into the backhand of Carlos. Backhand cross court. Now forehand cross court from Carlos. Is going to force the error. Huge scream from Alcaraz as he breaks once again for 5-3. Okay, Alcaraz serving here. Second serve, 5-3. Out wide. Alcaraz comes in for a serve volley, but de Minaur with a demonic return that Alcaraz can't deal with, and it's love 15. Yeah, I get that, but the thing is, de Minaur's return is a lot more beasty than, for example, Daniel Medvedev's, who often has a very deep court return position. The serve volley can be very effective against Daniel, but Daniel doesn't really go that big on the return. Not that often, anyway. Second serve here, love 15. So we reach this business end of the first set. Backhand return, but we're into the rally right now. Slice here from Alcaraz. Slice as well from de Minaur is pretty meaty. Are we going to get to love 30? Yes, we are. Clenched fist from de Minaur. Holding serve is proving a tricky business for both players right now. We've had 3 breaks in the 8 games so far, so almost half of the games have ended up in a break. And Alcaraz misses his first serve. Lovely forehand that from Carlos, though. And de Minaur can't deal with it going long. That was a forced error, really. 15-30. Pressure points 1, 10 for Carlos Alcaraz, 7 for Alex de Minaur. Alcaraz drop shot. Oh, that tactic didn't work in the end. I don't think the drop shot was the worst idea, even against one of the quickest players on tour. But then Alcaraz has got to do more with that lob. Or even just, let's have a see what sort of ball he's got here. He could just do a drive volley cross court there. Yeah, he's so fast, is Alex. And Carlos misses the first serve. Now, de Minaur return. It's pretty aggressive in that return position. Doesn't deal with it. Unlike some of those deeper return positions he's gone for, he is mixing things up. It looks like he's got a tattoo under the shirt, but it looks like an Adidas sign, which would go against his branding of Wilson. I'm talking about de Minaur, that is. Backhand return now into the rally here. Forehand from Carlos has nice depth on it. But what a backhand down the line from Alex de Minaur. He breaks. And we are back on serve on Rod Laver Arena. We will also take a break.
Ready? Play.
And if you're wondering what this little thing is, well, let me tell you now, whether it be tea, coffee, or merely water, it tastes so much better from a talking tennis mug. And you know what? They can be yours if you wish to purchase one from our website. We've also got bags and stickers and hoodies and notebooks. Mira Andreeva. T-shirts as well, of course, coming in both black and white. And we've got a classic jumper for you as well, and many, many other things for you to purchase for excellent prices so you can look like some of the coolest people on the tour. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Bouncing, bouncing, bouncing.
Yeah.
Big serve out wide, and he's got it.
Such a good serve.
And Fergus is correct. No collapse. He does do a little squat. Very different, though. And Sinner doesn't even look mad. He doesn't. He
looks happy.
Yeah, like this is such a great rivalry. Ooh, Nerlund has a good question.
It's a very healthy rivalry.
I don't know, Nerlund, that this has proven that Carlos is the better server than Sinner. I think that it proves that he is a top 5 server in the world, though, which Sinner also is. And you don't see that from a 6-footer very often. Like typically, it's the taller guys. Look at Alcaraz; he's fired up. I'll tell you this much. If I'm a nightclub in New York City tonight, watch out. They got Donnie T and Alcaraz in town.
Minaur attacking and winning that point, 30-15. Into the rally here. Still a bit of pressure on Alex because he's serving to stay in this set. And it's 30-all after he nets on the backhand. So, 2 points away from winning this set still, Alcaraz here. And it's going to be a second serve. Backhand return into the forehand of de Minaur. Forehand clips the net from Alcaraz and goes long. That's huge. It's going to be juice, though. I'm going to be having a juice shortly, by the way. Anyway, juice here. Of course, it is deuce with a D. Backhand return from Carlos. Forehand from de Minaur. Backhand cross court is going to miss from Carlos. It feels like he's leaking errors right now. Game point for de Minaur and 5-all. Alcaraz returns. Backhand, forehand, from de Minaur. Forehand from de Minaur as well. I think he's just being a bit more patient here, Alex. Waiting for the opportunity. Good forehand there, though, from de Minaur, but well defended from Alcaraz, but he can't defend that one. And it's 5-all, ladies and gentlemen. Which from 5-3 down and staring down the barrel of defeat in the first set at least. 5-all. I didn't see this scoreline coming at 3-love either. Maybe it's a feeler sign. It's a tattoo of some sort he's got underneath that feeler shirt. Or Wilson shirt, sorry. Serve down the tee from Alcaraz is pretty good. Serve +1. Defended, though, by de Minaur. He's going to have a tricky smash, but he takes it on. Doesn't win the point yet, but de Minaur still defending. Look at that volley, though. Oh, what a volley that was from Alcaraz. Yes, at the end of this game, we'll have another quick break, and then I'll make my juice. Oh, wonderful forehand winner there, Alcaraz. Okay, we're into the rally, but de Minaur goes long, so it's 40-love. Oh, what about that from Alcaraz? But de Minaur gets it, but he's not going to get that one. Whew. So let's take a quick break while I make my juice. And we'll be back in a moment.
5.5 hours. Backhand. It's a great serve from Alcaraz.
Alcaraz now has 7 championship points. We know that a championship point does not mean that things are going to end.
9-2 Alcaraz. It is
1 hour and 43 minutes since the center match point, by the way. Wow.
That's 2 hours ago.
Yeah, and anybody that thinks the tennis the major should be 3 sets, just like take that opinion, stick where the sun don't shine. This is awesome. I cannot imagine wanting to give this up.
A first to 10 tiebreak to decide this, as it is in the decided sets of all majors. Backhanded play from Alcaraz. Still is going to take the cross-court forehand. Alcaraz is there for the winner for championship.
Oh, he's done it! He's done it! He's done it!
French Open final to win his second title, 5th Grand Slam. What on earth was that match? What a way to win it with that.
Okay, so de Minaur serving to stay in the set once again. Love 15. Good morning, Matthew. Need Demon to take the first set. Yeah, wow. Love 30. Alcaraz is smiling there. Maybe he senses the moment to take this first set. What a return from Alcaraz. 3 set points. Good to see you, Matthew, by the way. Backhand return from Alcaraz into the net. Remember, this is the stage that Alcaraz went out in last year to Novak Djokovic. Backhand return is long, so another break point or another set point comes and goes. Oh, another one is saved as well. Juice. I don't think it's as inevitable as that, Matthew. Not what I've seen in terms of Carlos's unforced errors. It's a good return from Carlos, and that goes out from de Minaur. So we're going to have a 4th set point for the Spaniard. Backhand return from Carlos. Forehand from de Minaur is pretty good. Out, de Minaur comes into the net. We've got a lob. De Minaur stays in the rally, but Alcaraz is attacking. Alcaraz is attacking. Is this going to land in? Yes, it is. We're back to neutral. My goodness me. Forehand from Alcaraz into the backhand of de Minaur. Backhand cross court now from both players. De Minaur changing direction smartly. Now it's de Minaur on the attack, but he's going to clip the net. He's going to land out. And Alcaraz takes the first set by 7 games to 5 with a huge scream of Vamos. 59 minutes on the clock. We will take another break.
Ready? Play.
And if you're wondering what this little thing is, well, let me tell you now, whether it be tea, coffee, or merely water, it tastes so much better from a talking tennis mug. And you know what? They can be yours if you wish to purchase one from our website. We've also got bags and stickers and hoodies and notebooks. Mira Andreeva. T-shirts as well, of course, coming in both black and white. And we've got a classic jumper for you as well, and many, many other things for you to purchase for excellent prices so you can look like some of the coolest people on the tour. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. So, second set is about to get underway. Alcaraz serving first. So I just had to get my battery charger. Okay, sorry about this little technical glitch with having to get the battery charger. What a shame. De Minaur was always likely to be very competitive in one of the first two sets, and that was the first set he had to win. Oh well, we'll see. I still think he might well take a set and make it interesting, especially if it's this set. In terms of pre-match expectations, I know what you mean, Matthew, but having seen the match, it feels a bit different. Razor sharp, yeah. He's going to have a second serve here to look at. Forehand from Alcaraz into the forehand of De Minaur. Cross court, though, effort there from Alcaraz is too good. Backhand cross court into the backhand of De Minaur. Goes long, 40-30. We had 4 breaks of serve, didn't we? Or maybe 5 breaks of serve, sorry, in the 12 games of the first set. Alcaraz broke De Minaur 3 times. Ultimately, decisively there at the end of that first set. Oh, what a forehand winner that is from Alcaraz. One love. Bad day at the office for Coco Gauff, indeed. Okay, De Minaur serving at love 1. Excellent defending there from Alcaraz. Good rally tolerance. Backhand return from Alcaraz into the backhand of De Minaur. Forehand now into the forehand of Alcaraz. Backhand from Alcaraz is into the net. Yeah, look at that backhand topspin. Okay, misses the first serve, does Alex, at 15 all. Backhand return is going to miss from Alcaraz. Backhand here from Alcaraz down the line to the forehand of De Minaur. Ooh, De Minaur going for the passing shot there, but actually it hits the net and comes back. So it's 30 all. Ace down the tee, 40-30. Backhand return from Alcaraz off a good second serve there from De Minaur. Ooh, I thought that was going to clip the net and go over, but it didn't, so it's deuce. Okay, deuce. Unreturned serve. Advantage De Minaur. De Minaur comes into the net. What's he going to do with that volley? Not enough, I don't think. No. Deuce. Forehand from De Minaur into the backhand of Alcaraz. Backhand De Minaur cross court. Backhand to backhand right now. Backhand from De Minaur goes long. We have a break point now for Carlos Alcaraz.
Where do you think I'm from? I'm from Germany. No, where do you think I'm from? Somania, maybe?
Okay. Backhand to backhand right now. Exchange. Demon. Alcaraz has just gone long there with that backhand. Deuce. Backhand return from Alcaraz is sensational. Yeah. Is he a little bit too predictable on his serve? Maybe. De Minaur. This is going to be tough for Demon. This is going to be tough for Demon. And it is tough. It's a break of serve. 7-5, 2-love now for Alcaraz. Okay, serve +1, not quite. We're into the rally. Alcaraz misses on the forehand, 15 all. Just by a couple of millimeters. Gonna have a quick look at some of the stats so far. Alcaraz just 52% of his first serves landing in. De Minaur's the same. De Minaur 52% in particular, I think. That is, yeah. Remember that opening service game? Or the opening, I think it was maybe even the opening 2 service games he got. Oh no, the opening service game, I think it was like 25% of his first serves landed in. And Alcaraz was able to punish him. Alcaraz is at 19 unforced errors, which is a bit too many, I think, from his perspective. Alcaraz, De Minaur misses that forehand. Drop shot Alcaraz. Oh, he's lucky there, is Carlos. So here's the drop shot. Clips the net and drops over. 40-30. Slice from de Minaur, which is normally pretty effective that time. Went into the net. 3-love. Just like the first set. Alcaraz races into a 3-love lead. That soon evaporated in the first set. Will the same happen in the second? We will see. Do hit that like button, by the way. And of course, if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. Of course, the winner of this match is going to be playing Alexander Zverev after the German won in 4 sets earlier today over Lerner Tien. We are going to be joined by Amy Lundy at the end of this match. For a preview of the semi-finals that we have now set in stone. Of course, it is Arina Sabalenka against Alina Svitolina. Svitolina coming through in straight sets over Coco Gauff earlier today in a bit of a surprising result. Sabalenka won her match over Iva Jovic in straight sets. Both players dropping just 3 games in their respective quarterfinals. So we'll have a look forward to that semi-final between Sabalenka and Svitolina. But we will also look towards the men's semi-final as well, which will be, as I say, Alexander Zverev against the winner of Alcaraz and de Minaur. So Amy Lundy on the show sometime in the next hour or two, I would imagine. Forehand here from de Minaur into the backhand of Alcaraz. And that's a loose forehand from Carlos. 15-love. The schedule is out for tomorrow. Rybakina and Swiatek will open up the day session at 11:30 a.m. local time. Forehand cross court here from Alcaraz. de Minaur way out of court there and can't keep that on the island. 15-30. Should be a forehand put away for de Minaur, and it is. Getting to the rally here at 30 all. Forehand Alcaraz. Got decent depth on that. He's going to have another chance to attack. And he fires in a forehand in the direction of de Minaur's forehand, and he can't deal with it. It's a break point for Carlos Alcaraz. Deuce. Okay, we're into the rally here. Alcaraz defending. Alcaraz defending. On the run. Nice forehand there from de Minaur, but Alcaraz defends it well. Wow, Alcaraz on the defense, but he can't defend that when it goes long. Game point, Alex de Minaur, much to the delight of the crowd. Oh, the return from Alcaraz goes long. And it's 3-1. So just like in the first set, Alcaraz raced into a 3-love lead. De Minaur then holds for 3-1. Well, de Minaur would also like to see a replication of what happened in the first set as well, in terms of the fact that he then got the break back to make it 3-2 and then subsequently 3-all. Oh, what a return from de Minaur. So, love 15. And return 15 all. Oh, yeah. So Alcaraz serving here, 3-1, 15 all. That slice is going to go long. It's unusual for de Minaur to err like that on a slice. Okay, into the rally here, 30-15. Drop shot from Alcaraz. De Minaur chases that down, but he doesn't get the right kind of shot on it, and he hits it long, 40-15. So down the tee is missed. Decent return there from Minaur, but they're into the rally right now. Alcaraz on the forehand. Drop shot Alcaraz. Minaur chases it down. Alcaraz now on the backhand. Forehand cross-court winner from Minaur. Even though the drop shot was pretty close to perfection, Minaur was still able to get there. Ace out wide. 4-1 Alcaraz leads. And we will take a quick break.
Ready? Play.
And if you're wondering what this little thing is, well, let me tell you now, whether it be tea, coffee, or merely water, it tastes so much better from a talking tennis mug. And you know what? They can be yours if you wish to purchase one from our website. We've also got bags and stickers and hoodies and notebooks. Mira Andreeva. T-shirts as well, of course, coming in both black and white. And we've got a classic jumper for you as well, and many, many other things for you to purchase for excellent prices so you can look like some of the coolest people on the tour. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. So 4-1 Alcaraz here in the second set. Second serve return from Alcaraz is just going to go long. First serve is missed, so a second serve for Alcaraz to look at. Backhand cross court. Forehand winner from Minaur.
There tends to be a team of officials that are loitering around if they can't fix it quickly.
Good depth there from Minaur. 40 love.
Yeah, that's what I like to believe. Let's hope we don't have to find out what got right or wrong.
Comfortable hold for Minaur there. 15 love. Alcaraz here for 2. Good to know this forecast for tomorrow. Said to be 72% humidity. I wonder if that might just affect I'm just thinking about the matches involving, for example, Musetti and Djokovic. Whether that might just make it a little bit more physical. de Minaur netting on the forehand there. Sinner as well, you would worry about a little bit. But his match is the night match. So might get away with it. Oh, a complete miss hit there from Alcaraz. 30 all. Alcaraz misses the first serve here at 30 all. Double fault. 30-40. Break point, Carlos. Okay, first serve into the tee here. Into the net, sorry. Backhand return from de Minaur is pretty good. We're into the rally, but he's missed that forehand, de Minaur. Deuce. Good depth on that backhand return from de Minaur. And Alcaraz is having to defend with every sinew there. But now he's on the attack on the forehand. Now he's on the attack on the backhand. That's beautiful.
Doing nothing wrong from de Minaur's point of view, and he still loses that point.
Backhand to backhand exchange right now. It's game point Carlos, and it's a slice from Carlos. Oh, what a meaty backhand that is. Out of this world from the world number one. almost certain to remain world number one as well after this tournament. In fact, I think he will do because he's already replicated his quarterfinal appearance of last year. Exactly this time last year, of course, he lost to Novak Djokovic in 4 sets. He won the first set that day as well. But a very different encounter today. Look at the amount of power in that right arm, the amount of muscle and the veins bursting there, you see. So, de Minaur serving to stay in this second set. Ooh, and de Minaur nets on that volley. It was a tricky one, to be fair. He was on the stretch. Backhand return now into the forehand of de Minaur. Slice kind of drop shot, but that's not very good from Carlos, that one. 15 all. Okay, de Minaur first serve into the net. Nice return there from Alcaraz, and then de Minaur nets, and it's 15-30. Alcaraz 2 points away from a 2 sets to love lead. $30 all. Set point, Carlos Alcaraz here at 30-40. First serve out wide. De Minaur puts that one away. Nice. Goes in behind Alcaraz. It was all about the serve there, though, to be fair. Tries to so well just to get that in. And the backhand from de Minaur goes long. De Minaur still at 54% first serves in. Suddenly you get that to 60 or 70 and you're holding serve more often. Backhand return from Alcaraz is good. De Minaur deals with it really well. Some great backhands from both players here. Good depth there from Alcaraz, and it deceives de Minaur. 6-2, second set, Alcaraz. But it is Alcaraz now with a 2-sets-to-love lead, and it feels like a huge, incredible mountain now that de Minaur's going to have to climb if he's going to get back into this match. Tonight, we will have watch-alongs for Iga Swiatek against Elena Rybakina and Amanda Anisimova against Jessica Pegula. So do let me know in the chat who you think is going to win those two. I've gone for Rybakina and Anisimova, but I guess both are pretty much 50-50s. This is anything but a 50-50 here right now between Alcaraz and de Minaur. So, third set going to be getting underway shortly. Also, yes, Anisimova Pegula. Either make Anisimova the slight favourite, but I know Mert thinks that Pegula can trouble Anisimova. More than trouble. Okay, third set begins with Alcaraz serving first, as he's done in each of the two previous sets as well. Serve bot Alcaraz. Didn't get broken in that set, unlike the first set when he got broken a couple of times. And he's already raced into a 40-love lead here, Carlos. I know I put a poll up on YouTube for the Rybakina Swiatek quarterfinal. Let's see how that poll is going. Okay, 57-43 in favour of Rybakina. That might surprise some people. Alcaraz, comfortable hold for him to love. Good serving there from Carlos. Excuse me. Svitolina here talking. after her straight sets win over Coco Gauff earlier today. Okay, backhand return here from Carlos. Forehand from de Minaur. Forehand cross court is going to miss. Yes, de Minaur body language. He does seem a bit down right now. Struggling to come up with answers to the questions that Alcaraz is posing. Of course, de Minaur is not alone in struggling to solve the Carlos conundrum. Okay, love 30 here. de Minaur attacking. Gets a come on there to G himself up a little bit. 15-30. Wonderful return from Alcaraz. 15-40 now. Forehand here from de Minaur. He's going to miss, and Alcaraz gets the break. Look at de Minaur there. He's furious about that forehand. Overplayed it, overhit it. Yeah. 2 sets to love and 2 love. Alcaraz on the verge of an Australian Open semi-final appearance. He has just double faulted there. Of course, he made the semi-finals, I think it was. Or was it quarterfinals when he lost to Zverev in 2024? Missed the 2023 Australian Open through injury. 2024, it was definitely Zverev. It was just a case of, must have been quarterfinal, actually. Because, yeah, Zverev lost to Medvedev, didn't he, in the semis? So Alcaraz has not yet made an Australian Open semi-final in his career. Love 30 down here as he errs on the backhand there. Okay, 15-30 here. Backhand cross court from Alcaraz is just too good. Oh dear. Leighton Hewitt is looking a bit lost as well right now. Yeah, it's a loose game here from Alcaraz, 30-40. Net first serve. So 30-40 here. Another net clip. So still first serve. Forehand return from de Minaur is going to go just long. Yeah, I was pretty sure it was going to land in. Missed by, look at that. Yeah, he does need those little margins to go his way to give himself a chance. And of course, if that one had gone his way, he would have broken back. Unreturned serve, and now Alcaraz's advantage for a 3-love lead. Okay, into the rally here. And Alcaraz is going to miss the backhand. Deuce. Backhand return from de Minaur. Forehand from Alcaraz. He's going to land just on the line. But, Alcaraz a bit complacent there. Gets away with it. With that sort of complacent volley stroke smash that was really not enough. Yeah, exactly. To the rally here. Game point for Carlos for 3-love. Backhand cross court into the backhand of Carlos, but that's good. Nice defending, though, there from de Minaur. Good depth as well. Slice here from Alcaraz is pretty mean. Too mean for de Minaur to deal with. Alcaraz holds for 3-love. Yeah. So, Alcaraz on the verge, as I said before, of his first ever Australian Open semi-final. where he would be coming up against his 2024 conqueror, Alexander Zverev, who beat Lerner Tien earlier today in 4 sets. The first set went the way of Zverev, but then Tien won the second on a tiebreak. But then Zverev rounded it off 6-1, 7-6 in sets 3 and 4. So Zverev is into the semis of the Australian Open yet again. Of course, that's his 3rd year in a row, I think, at that stage. Lost to Medvedev in the semifinals of 2024. He won his semifinal, of course, in 2025. Or I say won it. Djokovic retired hurt. Gave the crowd a wave, and we wondered if it was the last time we would see Novak Djokovic in Melbourne. Not the case. Back again this year, and he's still got his eyes on the 2028 Olympics. So 3-love now, or love 3 because de Minaur's serving first. Oh, nice volley there from de Minaur. That's going to go long. Love for de Minaur. Forehand from de Minaur into the forehand of Alcaraz. Oh, lovely forehand there. Volley from Alcaraz. 15 all. Backhand from de Minaur up the line. Forehand from Alcaraz. Forehand from de Minaur into the backhand of Alcaraz. And then the forehand from de Minaur goes into the net, and it's 15-30. Okay, 30 all here. De Minaur on the forehand into the backhand of Alcaraz. Oh, Alcaraz backhand in the net, and that's annoyed him. 40-30. Okay, backhand return from Carlos into the forehand of de Minaur. Backhand cross court from each player right now. Remember, de Minaur has a game point here to get one game on the board in this third set. And it's going to be deuce, though. That's too much attacking play from Alcaraz for de Minaur to deal with. Ultimately, it was a forehand that went long from de Minaur, but I think it certainly falls into the forced category. Forced category? Forced error category. Okay, deuce. Yeah, the number 6 in the world here being routined. Long return there from Alcaraz, so advantage de Minaur. Just goes to show the gap between Alcaraz and Sinner and the rest when it's such a routine victory potentially for Alcaraz. I say routine. I do think that first set was crazily competitive, and de Minaur might have one or two regrets about that final game when he gets broken, whereas it could have gone up to tiebreak, and who knows. Many felt like Matthew, that he did sort of need to take possibly that first set. But he's got the game. 3-1. The crowd try and rouse him for one last push. I'm going to get some water. Okay, I'm back. Do stay with us live until the end, or beyond the end, because I'm going to have Amy Lundy join us. To preview the semi-finals that we have now set in stone, or will have by the end of this encounter. We'll look forward to the women's semi-final between Svitolina and Sabalenka, who both came through in straight sets today. And then we will look forward to the men's semi-final between Alexander Zverev and it looks like Carlos Alcaraz. So Amy Lundy should be with us. If this continues in this manner, probably in about 20 minutes from now, Amy and I will be discussing those upcoming semi-finals. .30 love here, Carlos. Backhand return from de Minaur's not bad. He comes into the net. Carlos, though, passes him. De Minaur was able to just get the frame of his racket on it, but it was nowhere near enough. I thought he was about to smile. It's difficult because obviously he's losing so convincingly, but yeah, just too good. And de Minaur sort of smiling as a result, thinking, what can I do? Ace from Alcaraz, who has stepped up over the last 6 months. His serve. Yes. I would say for an except that sort of period from, say, 3-love to 3-all in the first set, the rest of Carlos Alcaraz's performance has been sensational. 4-1 he leads. Change of ends. de Minaur desperate for a change of fortune. Yeah, we've got this poll here. Swiatek and Rybakina. Upcoming quarterfinal. Might surprise some people that Rybakina is leading that poll. Do check out our merchandise, by the way. Plenty of different things you can get. I'll share the link with you right now in the live chat. And now the score can come back on the screen. It's a score that does not read great if you are an Alex de Minaur fan. He's down 2-0 and he's 4-1 down in the third set. He's serving here at 1-4 and he goes long on the first serve. Okay. Love 15 becomes love 30. Alcaraz now exceptionally close to the finish line.
He hits the ball too centrally through the middle. He doesn't get enough width to his shot. Alcaraz is on top of the rally. He has to take every inch of the court. There's the one.
15-30. Okay, backhand into the net. And we've got 2 break points now for Carlos Alcaraz. Thirty 40. Deuce, ladies and gentlemen. Some response from de Minaur. Alcaraz on the attack here. What a volley from Carlos Alcaraz. Incredible touch, incredible hands, and incredible performance from Carlos Alcaraz. He's got a break point now for 5-1. Break point number 3. Return by Alcaraz as the serve went down the tee, and the forehand from de Minaur goes long. It is 5-1. Alcaraz now will serve for the match and a place in the Australian Open semi-finals for the first time in his career. And of course, he would be playing Alexander Zverev should he manage to serve this out. As he pursues the career Grand Slam. Serve down the tee. It's a good serve, but de Minaur does really well to get it back in play. Nice forehand cross court there from de Minaur. Alcaraz nets on the forehand, so it's love 15. Good serve down the tee again, but well done, de Minaur, for dealing with it so well. He's into the rally right now. A slice from both players now. Now it's on the forehand of Alcaraz, which is bad news for de Minaur, who just can't get his body in the right position to deal with that. He goes long. It's 15 all. Okay, another good first serve from Alcaraz, but another time that de Minaur's dealt with it pretty well. Okay, forehand to forehand exchange right now, and it's a forehand from de Minaur that goes long, cross court, 30-15. Alcaraz right now, 2 points away from the Australian Open semi-finals for the first time in his career. Backhand return from de Minaur is long, goes through the legs of Carlos Alcaraz, and Alcaraz now has 2 match points for his first ever Australian Open semi-final. Alcaraz seals it with an ace. 7-5, 6-2, 6-1. He is through to the Australian Open semi-finals, where he'll be playing Alexander Zverev. We will be previewing that encounter very shortly, but a just brief recap of what we've just seen. It was all about the first set. It was all about the 12th game, really, of the first set in many respects. That first set, by the way, had got to the 12th game because Alcaraz had raced into a 3-love lead, playing some sublime tennis. But, as Alcaraz can do, just went off the boil momentarily. And from 3-love, it was suddenly 3-all. But Alcaraz breaks again for 5-3. But de Minaur keeps fighting back and breaks back and gets it back to 5-all. Alcaraz holds and then strikes at the crucial moment. De Minaur waves to the crowd, by the way, as he says goodbye to the Australian Open for another year. It's another quarterfinal loss for Alex de Minaur at the Grand Slam level. Second set was as one-sided as the scoreline suggests, and same with the third. 7-5, 6-2, 6-1. Going to have a quick dip into the stats from this particular encounter. Alcaraz hitting 5 aces to Alex de Minaur's 1. 3 double faults from Alcaraz and 0 from de Minaur. Maybe de Minaur will feel as though he should take a bit more of a risk on that second serve. I do think that de Minaur, to have a good chance of winning this match, probably needed to be getting 60 to 70% of his first serves in. Remember, in the early stages of the matches, it was at 25%, which explained why Alcaraz was able to get such a foothold in the match so early on. First serve 1 from Alcaraz, 77%. But look at that second serve percentage 1, 38%, which is why it's so important for de Minaur to get more of his first serves in. But listen, this was an absolute masterclass from from Alcaraz today. Best performance of the tournament so far. He is getting better and better and better. And all the noise around the coaching switch that he made pre-tournament, dispensing of the services of Juan Carlos Ferrero, the controversy and the newspaper coverage, if you like, and the back pages of that, and even some of the front pages as well. Well, that has gone quiet now as Alcaraz reaches the Aussie Open semi-finals for the first time in his career. 26 winners off the racket of Alcaraz today. Yeah, what do you think about your level? I thought it was sensational.
Yeah, I'm just really happy with the way that I'm just playing every match. I think since the first round until now, I think my level, I was increasing my level every match, which I'm just
I agree.
happy about it. I was talking with my team that big passing, because I really one of the things right now. So after the first match, they told me like big passing,
Be patient. Be patient.
For sure, and I think today I just feel really comfortable playing a great tennis, which I'm really proud about, and just really happy to get into the semi-finals.
Really, really happy to get to the semi-finals. And he's done so without dropping a set as well.
Some of the points were just amazing. It took our breath away. What's it like?
Breathtaking indeed.
And his defensive capabilities out there. Well, it's really difficult. I think I started the match really well, hitting really well the ball. I think in just 2 games I made like 7 winners or 8 winners. So it was
yeah, he started unbelievably well. De Minaur did well to claw himself back into that first set. Maybe a few forehand errors from Alcaraz in that first set as well, giving de Minaur the chance to get back in it.
Was great for me, but playing against someone like Alex is always really difficult. You have to be really focused on every ball.
Yeah, playing Alex is tough. You got to stay focused on every ball, as he says.
That means how difficult it is to play against Alex. Yeah, he played well tonight too, and it wasn't enough.
It was not enough.
You have a lot of people that you travel with. It seems like you guys have a great time together, and so you have 2 really important guys on your team, and that's your dad and your brother who are here with you. How important are they for you to feel comfortable when you're away from home? Well, it's great for me. Obviously, sometimes we just make some jokes in the locker room, like all the players told me like, you can't play a football match, with your team. So it's it's funny, but I need it. I need my team. I need my people around me. So that's they are the reason that I play such great tennis, because on the court they make me feel great, feel like I'm at home every time. So yeah, having my brother, having my dad here, part of my family, my uncle as well. So it's been a great so far, and I'm just really proud and really happy to see my dad, because these things, experience and living these kind of things.
I see you.
His dream when he was playing tennis.
Amy Lundy, how are you?
Good.
Moment, I don't hear you for some reason. Why is that?
One second.
Okay. I hear you now. Try again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I had my volume down because I was on my own and before you arrived, and I was watching different things. So turn the volume down.
For some reason you're not coming through my my headset, and I like that better because people in my house are going to wake up in a second and make noise.
All right, fix that if you can.
Internal, no. I want to do. Let's see. I want to do my. And I want to do my headset.
Good, better.
Better.
Wonderful.
How's
How are
that?
you?
Good.
Yeah, great. What did you make of that Alcaraz performance that we've just witnessed against de Minaur?
Expected, but
Okay.
But I thought, you know, the first set was competitive. There's just such a separation, and you know, in conditions like that where it's a little bit warmer and the ball's jumping, forget it.
Yeah, there was a differential today. I think Alcaraz I thought the first set was fascinating. It proved to be super, super important that really de Minaur needed it. I think a lot of people felt that way before the match for it to be an intriguing match thereafter. But it was really the first 3 games, Alcaraz was sensational.
Right.
Did he drop a little bit in the next 3 games for de Minaur to get back in it?
He dropped. He started making some forehand errors, and Alex, to his credit, contained himself and upped his level a little bit. He, you know, when I say he redlined, that doesn't mean he was hitting power shots, but his defense, his foot speed, he even got to the net and hit a few sensational volleys in that little area of that first set and really battled hard. Gave the crowd something that they could sink their teeth into for that one moment in time, and he had his chances to take the set. He had a few points that had he not netted the ball, or if he had gone maybe a little bit more aggressive on a backhand, cut it a little bit more, he might have been able to take that set. But Alcaraz, you know, as fast as de Minaur is, Alcaraz is also equally as fast. So it's like one guy's strength is matched by another guy. And of course, Alcaraz has so many other talents in his quiver.
Indeed, he does. Yeah, just regarding that first set as well. At one point in the opening exchanges, de Minaur was 25% on his first serves getting them in. Now, that was a very small sample size at that point. I think it was 8 serves across 8 serves, but still, that was in that period that Alcaraz raced into a 3-love lead. It did improve as the match went on, but was still around about the mid-50s, which I think probably de Minaur needs to be getting that over 60, maybe even over 70% to make it much more competitive, to give himself a chance to keep holding serve and maybe get to a tiebreak in another set. Wasn't ever really from that moment. Once that first set went, it just never was competitive thereafter. I actually got it a little bit wrong. I thought that he could hang on to Carlos's coattail in sets 2 in particular and 3 maybe. I thought, okay, just to get to 3 all, get to 4 all in the second, see where we're at. But actually, Alcaraz put on the afterburners from that moment onwards.
Right. And serve is such an interesting topic right now because you have, in tennis, you have players like de Minaur, you have Coco Gauff, you have Lerner Tien. These are exceptional athletes. These are fast players, but they don't have that, or they're struggling with that key weapon, which is serve. So it's a real question mark. You know, Alex Ayala is someone who doesn't have a great serve. How far can you get? Is there a ceiling? Or, you know, can you really lean into some of your other weapons? So it's a really interesting question. I got to interview or talk to Alex de Minaur this past year, and he said, you know, I'm not very big, so I have to lean into my other strengths. But at some point, I think you have to maybe change some things about your weakness and see what you can do with what you can do with your serve. Maybe make some technical changes. You know, he can jump high. We know that. So maybe what he can't make up for in height, he still is, you know, 6 feet, 6'1". maybe he can make up for in leap. There's all sorts of things that you can do, but he doesn't have it right now. And you're totally right. He struggled with his first serve.
Not the best news in the world if you want to reach world number one or win a Grand Slam, perhaps, and maybe not beat Carlos or Yannick. But the good news in my opinion, for the non-big servers or the people that don't have a great serve at all in a way, is that I do think at the moment we have seen a change in tennis. Maybe the courts being slower helps in that those weaker servers that you just highlighted are still winning tournaments, 250s, 500s, going deep in slams. We don't see at the moment the absolutely phenomenal big servers like your Isners or Opelkas, for example, going deep. Maybe Kevin Anderson, I guess, as well. These guys going deep into without much else. You know, those were the guys getting to the quarters and the semis. Whereas right now, with the court speeds maybe been that bit slower, we aren't seeing those guys without much else, but we are seeing those without a serve, but almost everything else, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Your serve bots aren't really making it even to quarterfinals or
Right.
semifinals. So you got to have, and even, serve in a forehand, that type of player, typical American player, we aren't really seeing that as much anymore. In fact, watching the Ben Shelton match the other day, I realized how much he's improved his return and his volley skills. So a lot of the younger players are really going back to the drawing board. They're not being stubborn. They're not being set in their ways, and they're learning and evolving as we speak. So just the clinging on to your strengths is not a way to survive in today's professional tennis world.
So Alcaraz makes his first Australian Open semi-final. Why do you think it's taken 5 years on the main tour, more or less, for Carlos? And across those 5 years, of course, he's won 6 Grand Slams. You know, he's been in the final across, and he's won all 3 of the other 3, but he's not made a semis in Melbourne. Why do you think that might be?
I have a theory that relates to the start of the season, basically.
Okay.
So he's had his very short off season because he goes very deep the previous year, and then he trains very hard. Starting out 3-4 years ago, he started doing a lot of weight work, and he showed up in Australia and he was buff and he was lean, and it caught everyone's attention. He does that every year, where he saves that block of time for work in the gym, plyometrics, all the stuff off court, and then you get back on court in competition mode, and he doesn't play a lot of run up to the Australian Open, and he's just sort of like out of match mode.
Mhm.
So that's my theory, but I don't have any real, it's just a thought, a hypothesis. But this year, I think he's gotten himself into match mode and competitive mode much more quickly.
Nice. Okay. It's going to be coming up against Alexander Zverev, who came through in 4 sets. Zverev is someone with an even greater pedigree than Alcaraz in Melbourne, in the fact that he's been in an Aussie Open final before. He's been in a semi-finals before as well. In fact, this is his 3rd year in the row at this stage, losing to Medvedev in 5 in 2024. And then obviously losing the final last year in straight sets. What have you made of Zverev's performances or path thus far to the semi-final stage?
It's interesting. I was just looking at a bunch of his stats from everything that he's done this year versus last year. This is a player who really everything hinges on his serve. I know people talk about his backhand. He's a phenomenal player. He's number 3 in the world, but everything hinges on his serve, and he is serving at such a high level right now. And he's, I think, maybe 1, 2, or 3 in serving stats on tour. Returning, he is way down there. He's like 26. So
Okay.
those returning stats are lagging his ranking and his serving stats. So the conditions in Melbourne have been just perfect for him. really the past 2 years. You can get hot days. Sometimes it's humid. The ball really jumps. Hard court, a little bit more on the faster hard court. So these are optimal for a great server. So if you get a player against him like Alcaraz or Sinner who can return, they're not bothered by that fast first serve, and they can really get into the second serve points, then that's where his vulnerability is.
I would say his path has not necessarily been the easiest. Fran Cerundolo is someone who had a favorable head-to-head against him, and he dispensed of him in straight sets pretty comfortably. I even think Diallo as a first round is a tricky one, and he obviously dropped a set there. So he has dropped 1, 2, 3, 4 sets en route to the semi-final stage, as opposed to all the straight sets wins that Carlos has had. But at least until the quarters, maybe even the fourth round anyway. The first 3 rounds, I think, were a little bit easier for Carlos than Zverev in terms of the opponents he was coming up against. I don't think energy will be a factor, given that neither is... It's not like Zverev is in a Medvedev scenario from a couple of years ago where he's just in 5 setters all the time.
Exactly. This whole tournament has been odd in that you've had a lot of really straight set wins, straightforward wins, easy breezy. I mean, the one match that was really testy was the Sinner match, where they closed the roof against
Right.
Ziri. But everybody else, it's been managed pretty well. They've closed the roof when they needed to. So I don't think either player is uncomfortable at this moment. So you're right. I don't think energy is going to be a factor. The scouting report on Zverev is hit the ball to his forehand, because that's where you're going to get the errors. I'm sure Alcaraz is well aware of that. And pacey, deep, heavy balls will be going to his forehand. And then you'll see Alcaraz move in, and you just don't see Zverev move in that often. So there's more tools there. There's more ability to problem solve. And if Zverev's serve is just a little bit off and they're playing more second serve points, major advantage to Alcaraz.
Indeed. The head-to-head is 6 each. It does include an Australian Open win for Zverev in 2024. One particular thing that stood out for me in that encounter, because actually I went into it thinking Alcaraz would win, but that particular encounter, I just remember Zverev getting so many first serves in. I don't remember if it was 70 or 80%. I think it might have been over 80% of his first serves in, which even for Alcaraz, arguably the best, or one of the best anyway, definitely returners in the world, even Alcaraz was just struggling to get into the Zverev service games, possibly even until that. I know he'd won a set, but it wasn't until the latter stages of the fourth set when there was a feeling that Zverev might just get a bit nervous, as he does tend to do at the absolute tightest moments of the biggest matches. But ultimately, yeah, Zverev just had an incredible serving day. And it was actually the beginning of a 2-year stretch, all the way from until now, I would say, where Zverev has improved his percentages in terms of getting that first serve in. Remember, back in the day when he'd be double faulting, I remember that loss to Chapo we had in Australia in 2022, and he was also, his second serve was just so tame. It was either double faulting or just patting it over the net, almost, the second serve. But those days are long gone for him, and his percentages on the first serve. And as you say, though, I do think if he has a similar serving day to that, we could go 5, for example.
Yeah, totally. Just, I hate to keep harping on conditions, but it's been really hot. Okay, really hot, and the ball jumps in the heat. It's almost counterintuitive. When it cools down, the ball doesn't move as quickly through the air, so because it's more dense, weirdly. So that it's been really hot. It was over 100 Fahrenheit. Sorry, do your Celsius. But it's cooling
30,
down.
35, yeah.
Okay. It is cooling down significantly. It'll be in the 80s Fahrenheit. That is going to take the edge off his serve. Just to let people know, like the real sweet spot typically for getting your first serve in is somewhere around 67%. As you said, Zverev has been in the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's been able to touch his first serve, and you can serve your way out of all kind of jams if you've
Yeah.
got a weapon like that. So the real war is waged on those second serve points, and nobody knows how to take advantage of that like Carlos Alcaraz.
I would say a lot of these results that I'm looking at between the two, if not pre-match, definitely retrospectively kind of made sense in terms of the conditions. Obviously, the first two matches between them in 2021 going the way of Zverev, but, you know, Alcaraz was very much in his infancy on the tour. By the time 2022 gets here, those results, Zverev actually, I was surprised at the time, but what I say is, like I say, retrospectively, that makes sense. So I was surprised that Alcaraz actually won that Madrid final in 2022. I actually thought Zverev, having had the pedigree in Madrid and the altitude and all the rest of it of his serve, but Alcaraz was just playing such good tennis that I'd probably ignored that fact that when he came through Rafa and Novak in the previous rounds. Zverev kind of surprised, I think, a few of us as well, a few weeks later at Roland Garros with that win. But when we look at wins for Alcaraz in Indian Wells, it's like, yep, that's Alcaraz's domain. When we look at wins for Zverev in Australia and the ATP Tour finals, that's like, yep, that's Zverev's domain, to be fair, at least until now, in terms of where the two players have, what they've achieved in their careers. And then obviously Alcaraz winning the 5-set French Open final as well. Also, yeah, where the both players are at, and now Alcaraz is a Roland Garros king very much. That makes sense too. So I think it makes it a difficult one to call. But the thing is, Zverev over the last 11 months, 3 weeks and a few days, all the way back to that Aussie Open final, hasn't really produced. I think he won a title in Munich, but that was playing Ben Shelton in the final on clay. That aside, it was a pretty rotten 2025 for him.
He begs to differ with that.
Okay.
He had an interview where he said, "Look, I'm number 3 in the world. I did not have a bad year."
He was closer, Amy, to 1,000 than he was 2 in the world in
Okay,
terms of points.
fair. Look, he's still a great player. He has a strategy right now, and that's to lean into this first serve. Alcaraz now, and also when last they met, it was Cincinnati, correct?
Yes,
This
straight to Alcaraz, yeah.
right, and it was hot. Remember, that was hot. So you would
Yeah.
think that it would favor Zverev. It really just has to do with Alcaraz has more tools. So if you get into a tough spot in a match, he has more things that he can turn to problem solve. If a guy has a great first serve and a great backhand, and his forehand is not reliable, and he doesn't come forward much, doesn't hit a lot of drop shots or touch shots, what do you turn to? You can change your return position. Alcaraz has made changes to his serve. He's got a better serve. He's not the same server that he was a year ago. He's made changes to his backhand to shore that up. You know, it used to be the book on Alcaraz was, well, maybe you got a shot if you hit to his backhand, stay the freak away from his forehand. Well, now that doesn't work as well. Alcaraz obviously can drop shot you. He can lob you, you know, he can pull you in. So let's put positions aside. Clay, hard, fast, hot, cold. He just has more tools. Better defender, you know, and that's why Alcaraz and Sinner have separated themselves. It's the number of tools. It's that simple.
It's not a tool or a weapon, but it is another stat that goes the way of Carlos in Grand Slam matches, and that's his 5-set record, losing just once in 5 sets in his career. I don't remember if it's 13-1, 14-1, some insane figure, but when it goes to a 5th set, do you know who the only person to beat him in 5 sets is?
It can't be Sinner. That's too obvious.
It's not. No.
Djokovic?
No. Matteo Berrettini, the 2022 Australian Open. And I remember the beginning of the tournament, actually, of 2022. Of course, there was the whole Djokovic backdrop of not being able to play that tournament. Nadal as well, coming back from injury, and we know how that ended. Medvedev, best player in the world on the hard court at that point, and all sorts of other narratives. But one thing at the beginning of that tournament was, oh, Alcaraz is playing very well. We've heard a lot about him, and he had a few breakout results before that, and et cetera, et cetera. But also, he kind of looked different as well. It was like, oh, this guy's a beast, compared to the previous year. And I remember him winning his early matches quite comfortably. Then he comes up to Berrettini, and I think it went to a 5th set tiebreak, and Berrettini won that tiebreak and obviously gets to the semifinals in the end before losing to Rafa in 4. But yeah, that's the only guy. And it might even, I think it was his first 5-set match. So he loses that, and he's now on a winning streak of, I don't know, 12 or 13, something like that.
And then he became who he was. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I remember that Berrettini era. He was one of the top players in the world, and he was a cool cucumber and tight spots. I remember numerous. I remember a match against Monfils that he pulled out. He just, loved to compete and play. Hope that he can get back to form and settle some of these injuries.
Indeed. All right, let's go for prediction time. I'm going to go for Alcaraz to win. I just think that as you say, I think he's better than ever. When we always thought the serve could be 1 or 2% better, but it might take 5 years. I mean, we look at someone like Rafa, whose serve at the beginning of his career was especially, just generally put the serve in and let's win the point from there. By the end of his career, or certainly post Moya, so 2017, when Moya, his serve did get better, and he was a decent server, if you like. It was every other aspect of his game that made him one of the greatest of all time. But Carlos has made that improvement in a year, I would say. He talked about the tweaks, and there was jokes as he went into the Australian Open last year. I think one of his on-court interviews in Australia last year was like, yeah, I'm a serve bot now, because he had made some adjustments to his serve. Yeah. And yet we started to see the fruit of it towards the end of last season. New York in particular, where he didn't get broken until the final. Here he got broken in one of his first set, although he does win that set. But it is helping him to avoid these, unusual 5-setters that he probably doesn't need to be in, if you like. Unusual losses that he would have in tournaments to David Goffin, for example, as he had last year. Now, that is post-tweaks, but it was in the second half of last season when we're like, wow, this guy's now an elite server as well as having everything else. So I think that's a huge factor for me in thinking on this occasion, he will get the better of Zverev in Australia. What about you?
4. I think Carlos in 4. That's my first choice.
Mine too.
My second choice is Carlos in 5.
Mine too.
I think at least one of the sets will go to a breaker, and I think Zverev will serve well. He'll have a high percentage on his first serve, but a lower percentage than he has had of second serve points won. So that's my prediction.
Yeah, mine too. And I'm with you as well. I think 4 sets feels the most logical. It could go 5, as I already suggested earlier. And again, if it does, for me, Carlos is the favorite there, having also won a 5-set match at a slam in a final, as it was in Roland Garros. So having that sort of muscle memory to lean on. The least likely outcome is a straight sets win for Zverev. Could Carlos win this in straights? Maybe. I would be a little surprised, but that is possible. He's not dropped a set yet. And it would be, if you think about it, he didn't drop a set getting all the way to the final in New York, and he's not dropped a final getting all the way to the semis here. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility. But with Zverev serving that well, you'd think he'd get to at least one tiebreak, maybe more, and therefore would at least get 1 set. But yeah, I'm the same as you. I'm going to go Alcaraz in 4. Amy, I would like to just have 5 minutes on the women's semi, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Great. I didn't see it, and I'm guessing because of the time zone, you probably didn't see it either. But I
did fast forward through it. I caught myself up.
Svitolina Goff, good, because I know the recriminations. I'm looking at Coco Goff on my screen right now, looking extremely glum in press. She tried to give as much praise as she possibly could to Svitolina, but I have also seen, I'm now seeing her. Have you seen her racket smash backstage as well?
Yeah. I even as a journalist, and I like, colorful things and all that, that makes me uncomfortable. Like, let her have her moment
Yeah.
backstage, and then she gets asked about it over and over again, and It's
Yeah.
reported in, like every broadcaster across the globe is talking about this. No, let's just talk about like what happened.
Sure. I just quickly as an addition to that, I spoke to Gavin McMillan about 18 months ago. Of course, the biomechanics guru of Sabalenka in sort of until last summer. And yeah, he was particularly bothered by because then she'd been caught on camera backstage in New York, and he was like, "We have so many great things to show with these wonderful tennis players, and of course, if it happens on the court, so be it. But we don't need to have a camera following them every step of the way backstage," which we do see a lot. In Australia, we see a phenomenal amount of it. We do see it in New York as well, as highlighted from that video and some other bits and pieces. But I think there's just cameras everywhere in Australia. And it does seem a bit too much, in my opinion.
I wish that, and maybe they do know this, but I hope that they make the players really intensely aware of where the cameras are, because
Yeah.
I would hate to just like not know that the camera was on me. You know what I mean? I'm a very private person, and to me it's an invasion of privacy, but I don't know.
It is.
That's neither here nor there. The match itself,
Yep.
set to looking at what happened and looking over some of the stats, something very interesting. She double faulted 5 times, which for her is actually not all that much, and they all
Exactly.
came in the first set. So her percentage of first serve in, which in a match like this, a bad loss for her is notoriously very low. It was quite high. Quite high. So she obviously is trying to take new approach for Coco on the serve. She's trying
Yeah.
to take something off the first serve and just get the ball in so she doesn't double fault. Is that the right strategy?
Mm.
I don't
That-
know if that leans into who she is.
Yeah, that's a strategy call rather than a biomechanics improvement as well. It'll
Right.
be interesting to see how I think she should pursue the situation with Gavin, because I think it took Sabalenka a good 6 to 12 months to see. I think he began with her at some point in 2022, and it was probably another sort of 6 to 12 months. So let's see if that pans out. But listen, I did not see this result coming at all. Not just the comfort, but even Svitolina winning. I had Goff coming through possibly in 3. I'd seen a lot of good performances from Coco since the US Open, when she didn't really perform, I don't think, but through the back end of last year, but especially in Australia and also the United Cup as well, when she got her, as now seems to be, comfortable win over Iga, which seems to be a new trend. So I didn't see this kind of performance from Coco, or this win in the manner it was from Svitolina as well.
Svitolina is really a different player since she came back from maternity leave. She's hitting the ball a lot harder. She's playing patterns. She's playing with a lot of precision. She knew her strategy was go to the forehand, make balls, and Coco missed a ton of forehands, whether they were forced or unforced, call them what you will, errors. They were errors. So, Svitolina, she's also one of the most mentally tough players on tour. I've seen her completely handcuffed and Houdini herself out of those situations. She's an incredible player, really a great mover. In my mind, Svitolina can win any match against anybody, given a certain situation. I have a question about Sabalenka though, on the biomechanics coach. Now remember she had the problems with the yips.
Yep. Well, he tries. He didn't entirely convince me. He said, because it's his job, possibly. Gavin said that it was more, it wasn't mental. So obviously yips, of course, is a mental thing, right? Coming from golf. Do you play golf, by the way?
Haha, badly, but yes. Do you?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Oh,
but I'm obviously aware of the yips, and of course we see it in tennis quite a bit when people are just so sort of lacking in confidence and belief that they're hitting double faults in particular so frequently, and it does look like that to the casual observer. He is insistent that it was a mechanical or biomechanical issue, as in like she's doing something wrong that is causing it. I think that might be him also playing a psychology game here, whatever. But anyway, it worked. Whatever it was, it worked.
My question, though, was that she had famously said that she just fixed it herself. Remember?
Okay. Did she say that? Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So
She said she had been seeing a sports psychologist, and with everything that
Oh,
Iga
she
does,
said that.
someone
Interesting.
someone asked her, did the sports psychologist help you? And she said, no, I just sort of fixed it myself.
There's a couple of interviews out there. One was from us, and I think it's a good one, but there's also one with Gavin in the wake of her Aussie Open win of 2023, with Jack Edward as well. Do check that out. On the Line, I think is the name of the podcast. It's also an excellent one, just in the wake of that win. And he goes into detail. He doesn't talk, let's say, about the psychological element. I wasn't aware of those comments. It looks like, I think there was a tournament sometime in 2022, I think at the beginning of 22 in Australia, and the second serve is hitting the bottom of the net, and it didn't look like a mechanical issue. Let's say that. Maybe it was that double faults was, let's say, a psychological thing, but maybe there was also a way of refining the mechanics to go from being a good server to an unbelievable server. But I remember her serve when it was landing in was normally pretty potent. But I'm sure there was other elements to her game. There was a lot of good things coming. The team have obviously always been pretty tight with Arena, and I always thought that she was more than happy to keep Gavin on board. From what I understand, it was Gavin's decision to move to Coco's team. I don't know much more about it. I don't think it was necessarily. I don't think that Sabalenka team were overly happy, let's say. But it is what it is. As much as I love certain jobs that I have in my life, ultimately, if somebody else with a better condition scenario, let's say, I'm probably going to move on, as loyalty will only get you so far. So it is what it is. But Coco hasn't really borne any fruits yet in terms of that change. But Sabalenka, well, whatever influence he had on Sabalenka, it's obviously long lasting because it hasn't dropped since he left Sabalenka's team, because she went on to win the US Open and she's in another Australian Open semi-final once again. I did watch her match today against Jovic, or yesterday. I don't know which day, which time zone we're in.
Me too. Yeah.
But I tell you what I will say is the wobble, because she did have a couple of wobbles in the previous rounds. Double breakup on Mboko in the second set, and suddenly she's into a tiebreak. Double breakup on a Potapova as well, and suddenly the serve we just talked about sort of went off a bit, albeit Potapova was playing really well and was playing really aggressive on the second serves of Arena in particular. But Sabalenka in tiebreaks, 20 in a row she's won at the Grand Slam level.
Crazy. That's like, I would say it's Novak-like, but I think she beat Novak's record.
Oh, and, right. I saw a tweet from Novak. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, yeah. Just incredible ability. And if you think about Sabalenka early in her career, you could draw errors out of her in certain pressure situations because she's going to go for it no matter what. But she's pulled back. She's really contained herself, and she's gone into, lockdown mode in those tiebreakers where she's not going to make those errors of trying to change direction too soon or trying really risky shots. She just doesn't do that anymore, and she lets the opponent beat themselves in those tiebreakers.
The head-to-head, by the way, 5-1 for Sabalenka does make sense to me, and I can tell you this as well. I think that they will be happy to not be playing Coco Gauff, bearing in mind how Coco has frustrated Arina Sabalenka before on some of the grander stages, including on a hard court. Think back to the US Open final of 2023, for example. I also remember going into that French Open final, looking at one particular stat that stood out. I still tipped Sabalenka to win that, but there was one stat that stood out for me pre-match. Now, of course, Clay a lot slower, but still, I was like, wow, look at these stats for Coco against Arina when it goes. This is before the final, looking at their previous matches. looking at when the rallies go long, as in like I think over 8 shots, it was like, and that's what happened. As soon as it went sort of 7, 8, 9 shots in that French Open final, and Arena would pull the trigger, but it would be pulled out of frustration because she just couldn't hit. The only player probably on the planet that Arena hasn't been able to hit through, even Iga, she can hit through. She just can't hit through Coco. Now, I do think in Australia a little bit better, because obviously she has played her in Australia in the semifinals of 2024, but that was a knife edge match where that first set Coco was serving for it and probably should have taken it. And, I just think that they'll be quietly, they won't ever express it publicly, but I think they'll be happy to be playing Svitolina and not Coco.
That's a really good point. And it would have been a very interesting match. And, the fact that the women are best of 3, the result can be a little bit more random than
A
what
little
you
bit,
would
yeah.
think.
Mhm.
So that I think that would have been an interesting match had Coco been in top form and had the demons
Yeah.
been quelled on the serve.
Yeah.
But because the conditions certainly favor Sabalenka.
I
But
would have still tipped her, but I just probably wouldn't have tipped her with the same level of confidence that I have for her to beat Svitolina personally.
yeah, same. This will be a good match, hopefully.
It might go 3. It might go 3, but I still just can't see Arena not winning it.
I think it could be a match that's very similar to the match that Arena just had against Jovic,
Right. Well,
whereby Svitolina is very competitive in one of the sets.
yeah. Oh,
Last
yeah.
night,
She could
last
get
night
a
it was
set.
just one break of serve in the first set, and then good night, see you later.
The Jovic, by the way, that set began a little bit like Alcaraz in terms of the quality on display. The first 3 or 4 games, or the first 3 games, yeah, even 4 games, even though she lost one of them, her level was just Grand Slam winning, Australian Open winning, US Open winning level. Unbelievable. Jovic just didn't really know what had hit her. I don't think Jovic had really experienced anything quite like this in her career before. It might take her a little bit longer to finally get used to that level. Maybe she needs to practice with Arena and Elena as well, I think, who hits the ball pretty true too, to really just get familiar with that. But nevertheless, she fought her way back into that set, Jovic, and it was a really, really high quality level, I would suggest, for that first set. And it was a really close set in the end, despite Arena having that, huge advantage at the beginning of the match. And despite the fact it was 6-3, and you probably don't think it was that special, but actually Jovic did really well to fight her way back into it. And I think Arena, when serving it out at 5-3, had to save a couple, maybe even 3 break points.
Yeah.
And you were thinking at that point, well, you know what? I can see this going. And having seen what happened in the previous 2 matches where Arena had good advantages in sets, only to find herself in a tiebreak, it did have those vibes as well. But once she got that first set, then I think Jovic's level did sort of go back down again, if you like, to how it was maybe at the beginning of the match. And actually, even though the second set was 6-love Arena, it wasn't as special. It didn't feel as that opening passage when she races into an early lead, 3-1, 3-love, whatever. That was the special bit. The second set felt like Jovic faded a little bit in terms of that level that she was able to produce in the second half of the first set, more than Sabalenka doing anything extraordinary. But the result was standout. It was also standout for me because she'd had a couple of wobbles, and the level from Arena, I think, at times, particularly on second serve returns against Potapova, was a really strange one, because that's something she normally eats up for breakfast when she has a chance. But she was dumping so many second serve returns into the net against Potapova in particular. But I didn't see that level drop in rounds 3 and 4. She's peaking at the right time, is what I'm saying.
There were so many parallels to the match we just watched, right?
Yeah.
With Alcaraz and Minaur, where the first set, there's some opportunities. It's competitive. This could really be something. And then, it's just too exhausting. It's mentally exhausting to try to stay with that
Exactly.
dominant player for that length of time. But yeah, the thing I noticed was Jovic in the first set was really attacking Sabalenka's second serve. really going for it. And I
Yeah,
thought,
she was.
there
Yeah.
may be something to this.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a strategy for players. Who knows?
Yeah.
But then she just didn't see that many second serves in the second set. So it's hard to attack something you never get.
Indeed. I think we're both going Sabalenka, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go in 2, but one of the sets will be very close.
Indeed, yes. That makes sense as well to me. I'll go straight sets as well. By the way, do check out how new is this this X account that you highlighted to me just before we went live, the American Spin on X?
Yeah, I kind of soft launched it last year. I just wanted to, I am American. I just wanted to sort of track the American players very dispassionately, kind of see like what's emerging here. What are the trends that are happening? Are we no longer just a serve and a forehand country? Are we doing some different things with Lerner TN?
I would
So
like to just have a word on Lerner. I see
yeah.
it's your pinned tweet. So just give me some thoughts on Lerner, because he's just getting better and better. Of course, he lost in 4 sets today, but I would like to hear your thoughts on him.
Another guy that I was able to interview last year.
Oh, great.
He's very confident, but not in a bad way, okay? Not
Yeah.
like he's just on that borderline between cocky and confident.
Okay.
Very just like sure of his abilities, sure of like, if I don't have it now, I'll get it. Last year we did discuss his serve, and he was like, look, it needs a lot of improvement, but I'm going to look at some things. I'm going to look at, how Nadal improved his serve over the course of his career.
Another lefty, yeah.
Another lefty, and that's something that, even if and he is actually taller. He's taller than me, and I'm tall.
Okay.
He's not short.
Okay.
He's maybe 5'11", and
Okay.
maybe isn't done growing yet. Who knows? He's never going to be Alexander Zverev, but
No.
he's also not as small or slight as de Minaur. He's got some muscle on him. He's
Yeah.
still just a kid, or 20 years old.
Mhm.
So a lot of really interesting things about him. I want to write something on this. His movement is unique. The
Okay.
way that he recovers from hitting a shot it's not like de Minaur or Alcaraz. It's energy saving.
Okay.
So I want to like dive into that a little bit more, but he's a very interesting, confident young American player who I believe can reach the top 10.
I think he could. Yeah, I think he could, and it could happen this year. I mean, he's obviously got to a quarterfinal. The problem for him will probably always be the clay. I think to reach the top 10, he might need 1 or 2 good results on the clay, but that can happen. I just don't necessarily see him winning many tournaments on clay. He might get a cheap 250 somewhere. Somehow, but that might be an issue. But just my take on him is interesting. You highlight his serve, because I watched his wins over Borges and Medvedev. I didn't see his match with Zverev today, but saw his wins over Borges, and I was like, oh, he's serving quite well.
Right.
He's serving fine. It's not when I was watching him, if I'd never seen him before, it wouldn't be someone who because I have probably highlighted Lerner's serve in the past as being the sort of kind of obvious area of weakness, if you like. I've thought of a few other players on tour that we began this conversation talking about serve bots, but also how people with weaker serves are doing well nowadays, and he fell into that category. But actually, in those two, by the way, he was outstanding in those 2 matches. And of course, Zverev poses different questions, but he has beaten Zverev before, and I expected that match, and it was competitive, 4 sets. But no, the serve, he had everything else, by the way, performing a 9 out of 10, as it often does. The shot tolerance, the movement. His forehand was doing a lot of damage, especially against Borges from memory. And although there's a lot of questions about Medvedev's performance and where he was at mentally, particularly come the 3rd set, it was the outstanding level that Lerner had produced for the first 2 sets that frazzled Medvedev's brain in a way that I haven't seen it frazzled since sets 3, 4, and 5 against Nadal in the Australian Open final of 2022.
there were aces. There were
Yeah.
serves that were not returned. You know, it was impressive. And I did when I was at that tournament in Florida, Delray. I took some
Okay.
courtside. I took some screenshots and photos of his serve.
Mhm.
And I showed it to a coach, and he's like, "Yeah, this is such an easy fix. It's just, contact more in front." I have to go back and look at my notes. But apparently, he's fixed that. And who likes to return against a lefty server?
Oh, right. Yeah,
Even
exactly.
lefties don't.
Yeah.
So, you lean into that, you look at what Nadal did. I do think he could do well on clay because of his foot speed and his movement and his anticipation skills. And, clay also likes drop shots, and clay also likes
Mhm.
little touch shots. So that it's possible,
It's
it's
possible.
possible.
I just haven't seen the same level of movement from him on clay, but also the results as well and performances at
Right.
whole. But yeah, maybe he'll prove me wrong. Amy, big thanks for joining me today.
Sure. It was fun. It was worth getting up early. It was fun.
Great, yeah, because you were up mega early, yeah, to get the match in, but also obviously join us too. Do check out, of course, Amy here. I'm just sharing her X page. I know you're on Instagram as well, and obviously well connected as we see tennisconnected.com amongst various places that we can see your work. So do check out
Yes.
Amy's work, and also, of course, as I said, do check out The American Spin. It's in its infancy, but
Yes.
much like Learner TN, it's improving and getting better and better, and it'll be great to see more of your work on there as well.
Thank you so much. I had a blast. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Amy. Take care. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.